We ready? Okay, let's call to order the meeting, October 27th, Economic Development Authority of the City of Lynchburg. Start with our roll call. Patricia Mosby.
Here.
Georgianne Sneed. Absent. Kimberly Sorensen.
Here.
John Stone. Here. Richard Tugman.
Here.
Sackett Wood.
Here.
Very good. First item on the agenda would be, well, that was the first item. Second item on the agenda would be approval of minutes from our September 15 meeting. Those are in your package for today. Any comments before I take a motion to approve?
Motion to approve. Second.
Very good. We've got a motion to approve the minutes as presented. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. Next up, property agreement for 310 Jefferson Ridge Parkway.
This came before the property committee in September, but if you remember, the authority granted the Bedford Regional Water Authority some easements so they could build an interceptor in the part of the park, the industrial park. And they came to the authority in September, actually in August, and asked for a temporary easement from the authority so they could lay down their pipe, basically to store their pipe during the project. They asked for two places, one behind BWXT, which is actually leased to them, and the authority told the Bedford Regional Water Authority that they would have to get permission from the tenant, BWXT. The BWXT does not want to give them access, so they dropped that. But they did ask for the one over behind, gosh, it was Erickson, it's River's Edge Furniture, and they submitted an agreement which I completely rewrote because it had us guaranteeing that we wouldn't cause any problem instead of them causing problems out there. So the property committee looked at it and approved it, and it actually has to come before the full authority to take a vote. But the property committee, which just can be as an advisory, all the committees are advisory committees, and they need to you as a body need to take action if you want to allow them to use the lay down area behind River's Edge.
Is it just temporary?
Yes, it's a temporary easement. And as I say,
Do we know the time frame?
we don't really know. It's going to depend on the construction schedule.
But it starts like immediately, like they're waiting on you all. They've gained access to come from behind, around River's Edge, and then the laydown area is, kind of drops down, but it's right behind there, and it's not in the way of anything else that's planned for back there. 310 is a very large parcel. Goes all the way up to Wigington Road, and then that's where those two sites that we're working on right now are going to be carved out of.
So this is just for the temporary stockpiling of materials, and I presume they're under responsibility. I didn't see it here to leave the premises in exactly the same.
Disturbed areas to original or better condition, including fine grading and seeding.
Great. Thank you.
Any other questions on that? So since this is a recommendation from property committee, then I don't need a motion necessarily, we just vote, correct? All right. So all in favor of granting this temporary easement, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, the easement is granted. Next on the agenda would be staff report.
I think the big items are, we are, I will say that, fully staffed, but not, because Anna has been pulled to be the acting director of communications and public engagement. So if I sound terse on the phone, it's a lot. It is a lot. So she's, as always, stepped up and doing a masterful job, but it is definitely, especially onboarding 3 new people that are mainly over, you know, on the marketing or special event side, and that the Alicia is coming back, but she's been out on FMLA, and so we've been really on the economic development side with so many things going on and with different expectations. So please send her good vibes all the time. And for those of you that know how wound up I am, I would appreciate saying the same thing. And we're still working on the venue development of Riverfront Park. A group of us went to Charlottesville recently to tour the pavilion. That was very, very interesting to learn from soup to nuts how that whole thing came down. And we are in the middle of working on 2 grants, and one of them is the Virginia Business Ready Sites Program for the Ivy Creek sites A and B. So master plan was done on that property that belongs to you all. We were able to get 2 sites out of that, proposed sites out of that, and so we have submitted a grant to the state for help with due diligence on that site. So mainly the site is, all of these sites, and you all have made comments, Richard and John, about how expensive these sites are to bring to shovel ready. It is my goal, because we are so site poor, it is my goal to get access to these sites, which would just mean a road off of Lynchpin Lane to gain access to the site, perhaps clearing the site so that people know it's there and available, and getting, you know, utilities to the site, because I believe that will allow us to, right now you can go and market it, we could get conceptual drawings of what could go there, but we would not get into the actual grading of the site, which is the most expensive part of it, until we had some kind of prospect there. So that is where I am with all of that. It's because we just, the Greenfield site side of it, we really don't have anything, and we really ought to start with what's owned by the city or the EDA first. And we also have a Go Virginia grant that we are submitting today. Again, and that is for the airport. So there is property out in Campbell County that is owned by the city at the airport. And so we're partnering with Campbell County and the airport, which the airport is part of the city, to look at that site. We're going to Go Virginia to look at that site as well. So there's a tier program at the state, and it goes from 1 to 5, and 5 is a shovel-ready site. And so you go through each one of those tiers. So the airport site will go from a 2 to a 3, and the Virginia Business Ready site, you all sites, A and B, will go from hopefully like a 2.5 to a 4, right? So having access and having utilities there, and then getting the permitting documents, which was what was done on your 200 Jefferson Parkway site. That's got all the permits, everything's ready to go there. You would just need a prospect, right? So we're not doing the grading or any of that, but we've got all the permitting. If somebody were to come and be interested, and depending on what that ROI, return on investment, would be for that particular industry, then you would look at how much you would participate in getting the site graded, right? And the same thing is true. But I've kind of taken a poll after talking to you all from the engineers out there for sites all over the Commonwealth, and they're just telling me that they're all, really expensive to bring up to. So we're looking for money, right? We're looking for money. If we get due diligence done on sites A and B, then I can go to the VDOT and apply for an industrial access grant, which would be to help build the road. Sometimes these are more trouble than the amount of money that they're willing to give you. But anyway, they're very tedious when it comes to putting the applications together. So all of those should go out of here. We have a virtual site visit. We've made it to the second rung of the Virginia Business Ready site. So tomorrow, Ann and I will get online with KPMG and do a virtual site visit on the Jefferson Ridge Parkway sites. So, yes. On the tourism side of things, we were really excited we'll submit a bid tomorrow for the professional disc golf championships. That's like the PGA of disc golf. So they've come to us because there happens to be a young man that lives in Bedford that is ranked. I got my picture taken with him because he had on the brightest pair of pink shorts I've ever seen in my life, and I love them. But he helped design the course that Bedford has put into place in their New London Park. And also Ivy Hills, which Runkin Pratt owns now, has been willing to take that golf course and modify it, if they can come here. And I mean, the economic impact, if they come, is like almost $6.5 million, because the people that come, they come from it's international, and they all come from far enough away that you'd use up, the hotel rooms and all of that. So really, great opportunity. Now the actual disc golf will be all in Bedford. That's just who we are, right? We are regional players, regardless of what they say, who did not want to participate financially with us. I won't tell you I had to go, I'm sorry, you can't see my face right now on the Zoom call. But we have all the hotels, so we get it, and hopefully one day they grow up. So
How many bids there are for the
I think that there are maybe 2 others. I think it's Columbia, Missouri, I'm thinking, maybe. Anyway, but it's I'm working with the airport, because that's always a big part of it, is how can people get in and out of here. But I mean, these are the kind of things that, if we get a shot at something like this, that we really need to seize the opportunity. Because many times if you get a shot at something, people might not be coming from far enough away that they're gonna spend the night, but this is full on. And it's kind of coming up in popularity. It's like pickleball or some of these other things and we can get all the colleges involved, right? Because most of them have something on their campus, and they could probably send a team it would be a really great collaborative kind of thing. It's in '24. It'll be in August, like August the 27th through the 31st. But the real hook for us is this young man that is a ranked golfer that lives in, and has done this course, and the fact that the Runks are willing to take a whole golf course and repurpose it, you know, for that. So anyway, that's. Oh yeah, it is really, really, you know, it is really, really great. It is really on point. So we've got all the accolades down here. I hope everybody has seen there. We're working with River Ridge on putting banners up, but I actually did my run yesterday foolishly. I was probably hoping I'd get clipped off, but I ran across the John Lynch Bridge so I could look at all the banners going up and down there. Take your life in your hands when you do that one, but anyway, I was up for it. I think they look fantastic. And so you can see that where the places where we, and I think we've got another one coming. Also, Emmeline went out to Oklahoma City and collected last year's annual report. We received a gold award from the International Economic Development Council on that annual report. So that was awesome. So that is, Anna, do you have anything? I don't know how you would. You don't even know which office you're sitting in. She sits in several offices now. It's amazing. Anyway. Yeah, that's all I have on the staff report.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Get back to my agenda here.
Huh?
All right, so next on our agenda will be, we do have an item for closed session. So Ted will give us some legal verbiage that we can pronounce before we head into closed session.
Apparently, we have two items now. But the first one is, as was advertised, pursuant to 2.237(11)(a)(7 in the Code of Virginia, the authority should go into closed session for consultation with legal counsel and briefing by staff members pertaining to actual or probable litigation, where such consultation in an open meeting could adversely affect the negotiating position of the authority. And 2.237(11)(a)(3) to discuss the discussion or acquisition of real property for a public purpose, or of the disposition of publicly held real property where discussion in open session could adversely affect the bargaining position of the authority. Somebody needs to make that motion.
Second. All in favor of said motion, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. All right, we are in closed session.